Yo, it's Boss Show Me. Bring you another one.
Another one.
Oh, man. And this one is important because I'm seeing a pattern going around, especially with the media. And from me doing content for so long, I've gotten pretty good at being able to discern what's going on with the media. Okay. And what a lot of people don't see sometimes is that your media, especially locally, can be weaponized, right? You have a lot of different types of media. You have national, you have local, right? You have new media, which is differently talked about when it turns to YouTubers, right? And it's so many types of media. And the issue that I keep seeing is a lot of people keep falling for, I'm the insider and it's like this because I said so. And that's where we falling for a trap. Because one thing I'm going to say and I'm going to prove today is just because you're an insider does not mean that you can't be wrong. Worse, you could also be used. A lot of people look at the insiders and the title of insiders and they look at it as trusted. They said it, it's so. And they don't look at the other side. The other side is that some of them are intentionally compromised. Some of them are accidentally compromised. And that's the truth of the matter. And I'm going to prove it today with real examples. Okay. So I'm going to say that again because it's hard to sometimes discern which is which, right? So the best way to explain it is trash in, trash out. That's the best way to explain it, in my opinion. It's trash in, trash out. What you getting depends. What they giving you sometimes depend on what they're getting. It don't always mean that it has nefarious motives. So that could be, it could be me. Let's say if I work for a media company and I develop sources, right? If my sources are telling me something, especially if they strong front office sources, and I'm reporting what I'm hearing, it doesn't mean that I'm compromised. Now, some of these people are willingly water carriers. Some of these people are, yes, sir, boss. Just because you said put it out there, sir, I'm going to put it out there. Like real sycophants, kiss asses. Whatever you say, I'm going to report it. Because obviously, that comes with its benefits. One of the big examples of where we've seen this before was after Randy Gregory. And you saw a lot of internal fighting going on about the story of what happened. And one of the obvious things that was going on, you kept seeing people reporting it was standard language. It was standard language. You kept hearing that because that's what front office was pushing out there. But it took Mike Florio to go in there and whoop up everybody, and Patrick No-C Walker. They came in there and they wiped the floor with the local media. Boy, they wiped the floor. But I want people to really, really, really understand this. That's why I do stuff like this. And I'm going to continue. He said, got your phone on lock. Man, I turned my phone off, bro. It be making all kind of noises. So you must be trying to do a show. I'll call you after we finish, Henny. But yeah, he wiped the floor. So I'm finna show y'all an example, and I'm gonna show y'all the danger of weaponized local media. Okay, because it's dangerous. All right. And I'm gonna put this together in terms of the DC search and everything. But y'all know when I do stuff, I do it like an attorney. Hold on. When I do stuff, I do it like an attorney. So I'm gonna prove this case by case, bullet by bullet, example after example. So this is one of those. It's gonna be a high evidence show. So when I do these type of shows, you got to stay with me. So this is a perfect example. So y'all know I just did a show on Mike McCarthy, and I was saying the best revenge is success. Y'all remember that, right? And so if you look, it was counter. Somebody said something which shows you the power of the media. And so my boy Slugger, one of the people who follow and support, he said the fact, hold on, man. He said the fact that Big Mike felt threatened by Quinn and Wonderbar speaks for itself. Hold on real quick. My boy B Bird with the super chat. That's one of my big brothers, elder in the space. He say, "What up, boss? It's been a while. Good to see you, B Bird. You right on time. Appreciate the super chat." He said the fact that Big Mike felt threatened by Quinn and Wonderbar speaks for itself. Do you think great coaches like McVay, Shanahan, Reed, etc. feel their job is threatened if a good coach is hired to your staff? Also, that playoff performance was inexcusable. I don't have sympathy for him on a professional level. Of course, he seems like a good dude, but although he did a good job in the regular season, his offenses were not up to par in the playoffs. And so, because I know exactly where he got his thought from, I said that report from Bobby does not match documented history. It's not even close. Because that's where he got his assumption from, that that Mike McCarthy felt insecure. That's where he got it from. And that's the danger of media sometimes, when they put out stories that don't match what really happened. And sometimes that's intentional. Sometimes they're water carrying. Sometimes they just not right. It can be a number of reasons, but it still does damage. So y'all know I got receipts over here. So we gonna go through the receipts. We gonna talk about it. All right. This is what Bobby said. Listen.
Here. The Quinn issue became something where there's just this natural tension that exists, to the point where Dan Quinn had intimated people, it was my understanding, had intimated to people after a year or two, was just like, should I go? Like this feels uncomfortable for everybody. Should I just go? But I think he liked being here in Dallas. I think he liked working with Mike McCarthy on stuff outside of just that unusual factor. Now, over the course of that season,
so it was Bobby Belt that put out that Mike McCarthy was insecure and threatened by Quinn. And a lot of people, what they do is they say, the insider said it, so it is so. And what people got to understand is that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes this stuff is Jerry. Sometimes it's Jerry and them that'll literally make the calls, put out the information, and then these reporters will report what they're hearing from the inside. So it don't mean that they being nefarious, but the people that's leaking it to them are being nefarious. And then my brother with the super chat said, "Salute to you, sir. I appreciate the super chat." So let me show you that Jerry himself said, "I use the media."
Jerry, I'm going to ask you for a negotiating lesson here, because a lot of times you've said they need to call us, or you don't want to pick up the phone first. Why is that so important for many of the trades in your philosophy? And do you apply that to other negotiations in life? Do you really feel like you're giving away that much leverage if you pick up the phone first?
Yes.
Yes. I can do that real quick. Yes. But really, I'm calling. I use you
to call.
And you say, how's that? I use media to express an interest all the time.
All the time.
And so, and that's not uncommon and very effective.
damn. Like, listen, man, that's a sad thing when he telling people to their face, like, yeah, I use you. So, and it's very effective. All right. So now you got somebody that's listening to my channel as I'm giving them facts, and I'm telling you, no, bro, that's not the case. No, it was not the case that Big Mike felt insecure. No, matter of fact, Mike was an OG about it. So what really happened is that Jerry went out there and offered Dan Quinn the job. Okay. While Mike McCarthy was the head coach. Right. And when that happened, it caused tension. Right. But the tension did not come from Mike McCarthy. It came from Jerry. So Bobby put out there that it was tension. But Bobby, we needed to hear where the real tension stemmed from. Let's listen at them talk about it during that time. This is where Sean and RJ was keeping it 100. Listen.
What are the Cowboys doing? What is Jerry Jones doing talking about Dan Quinn like this? Saying, yeah, the way we kept him, every coach, every one of the 3 coaches that it's happened with, they said they loved to be the head coach of the Cowboys. Everyone. So my point is a lot of logic as to why they might not take a job now rather than wait and see how the cards go in the future. How could Mike McCarthy be fine with that statement? Like, let's be Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn, right? You're tight with each other. You're working together.
Man, I love, they killed this. I ain't gonna lie. They killed this part. But when so just think about it. Mike McCarthy is out the building, and what's reported is Mike was insecure. I think these details are way more important. And the evidence is going to get even more evident that Mike was not insecure. Hold on real quick. We got us another super chat from my big brother. He said, Jerry has had 35 years as a GM and dealing with the media. He's really good at one and terrible at the other. He's had over 35 years of media training. Facts. He got that down too. Listen.
Mike McCarthy hired Dan Quinn, and the day after the news comes out that you're staying with the Cowboys, right? Mm-hmm. That Friday when Jerry called in unscheduled to KMC. I'll be McCarthy, you be Dan Quinn.
Listen to this. They finna kill this.
Hey man, glad you're back. How'd the old man keep you? How'd he pull it off?
Well, he gave me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Oh, okay. So just money. He money whipped you.
No. Kind of gave me your job. That's kind of what he did.
All right. Now, it probably didn't go like that.
No.
But if you're Mike McCarthy and you see that comment from Jerry, how are you not thinking, what did y'all say about me and my job status? And then Jerry moves on. And Dave Hellman was there. He's there. Were you there?
Were you there?
It was apparently Dave Hellman and Jory Epstein, the only 2 reporters around Jerry at the Senior Bowl. And Hellman said he's like side-eyeing Jory, like, is he saying this? You know, you give that look to someone like, is this happening right now? The way you look at each other during an interview. And then Jerry goes on to say, yeah, he's a guy, if I didn't have a coach, I would have been interviewing him for our coaching spot. Mike knows that someday somebody other than him will be coach of the Cowboys. Yeah, but Jerry, Mike, I think in his mind has 8 more years here.
Yeah.
Like, he just finished his 2nd year. We're not talking about Bill Belichick in his 70s right now. So this is Jerry, to me, being really, really inappropriate with Mike McCarthy, being really unfair to Mike McCarthy. And then does McCarthy have to side-eye Dan Quinn to wonder, what were you told about
the head coaching position here?
Isn't this amazing that on the exit when he's going out, he's the one that was called insecure. He was the one that was reported, right, that he had tension with Dan Quinn. But in the moment, it was clear that the fault was clearly Jerry. See, that's why we can't let the media be weaponized. We can't allow it to be, I'm insider and I say so it is as what I said. I said it, I'm the insider, shut your mouth. Nah, it got to line up. Trash in, trash out. If you giving them trash, we go hear trash. Leaks are only as good as the truth of the source.
I think that Dan Quinn is now more of a threat to replace Mike McCarthy than Sean Payton is. Because I'm going to guess that Sean Payton stays in TV for a couple of years, and if McCarthy doesn't make at least the NFC Championship game, I mean, unless Jerry is just overhyping Dan Quinn, that Dan Quinn takes this team over instead of Sean Payton. But man, this is really unfair, I think, to Mike.
And I appreciate them for keeping it 100 on that. They did. Openly. On the flagship. That's why you can't say every one of them are carrying water. You can't say that. It's not right. Because, like I've heard RJ say specifically, I don't just report because I hear it. It got to make sense. But that's also why RJ a lot of times is 100 with what he say. I might not agree with everything that he say, but I agree with most of what RJ say. It's because RJ made a personal decision that I'm not just reporting it because I got a phone call. I'm not just carrying water like that. But that's what allows RJ to be authentic in his takes. And see, during that time, this is what I was warning. And this is what I said after Jerry did what he did. Listen to this. And you talking to me in the public like I'm a bum, and then you go run me out there and expect my men to respect me. I'm going to tell you what Jerry asking for. Jerry is asking for, at some point, Mike McCarthy is going to have to stand up for himself. Bingo. And I was saying that because it was like, how do you expect me as a head coach to lead my men when you undressing me in the public? You are forcing my hand to have to respond to you. See, that's the part of Mike McCarthy that don't get no credit. That part to where he was savvy enough to say, if I don't respond, I'm going to lose my team because I'm going to look like a weak ass man. So I have to push back. And that's why I predicted that he was going to push back. And I was right as hell on that. Because see, on a personal level, if you talk to me behind closed doors and all of that, I'm going to be a whole lot more humble than when I have to go home and look my kids in their eyes and they looking at me like, Daddy, are you getting disrespected by your boss? Real talk. Why is he talking to you like that? Real talk. And then that man pride start to rise up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That man pride, when you and your wife having a conversation about this in the bed at night, and she like, baby, we ain't got to take this, baby. We good. And what ended up happening eventually? The boy walked away. He walked away, as he should have. He got to a point where it was like, man, you is not finna stick with on me. I've been through that. And you was disrespecting me along the way. I love football too much to take this. And there's other places that's not going to take me through this. I'm out. That's what he did. We good. Our kids going to college. See, eventually, you ain't going to keep disrespecting me like this. And it's going to blow up. It's going to be some kind of way. Y'all mark my words. It's going to be some kind of way Mike McCarthy go show his frustration with Jerry. The way that Jerry keep picking at him. Now, I think that was probably the most accurate prediction I've ever done. I said, y'all mark my words. Boy, I killed that. I got to give myself a hand on that. Boy, I hit that one on the head. I ain't gonna lie. And you're right. You say not everyone is a mouthpiece. Exactly. And see, that's why I'm being very careful in what I say. I'm not making it seem like because anybody works for the fan or because you might put out what Jerry reported that you are a tool. That's not the case. But I predicted it. I said some kind of way he's going to have to. And I said, you mark my words. And that same week, matter of fact, 2 days later, Mike McCarthy went on a Rich Eisen show and he told his version. And this is what debunks what Bobby said about Mike McCarthy having some kind of insecurity about Dan Quinn. This totally debunks it. Listen.
Part of the criticism coming your way seems to be in a veiled way from the man who signed your checks, to be very honest with you. Jerry Jones, in a story written on Dallas Cowboys .com, was talking about Dan Quinn coming back to your fold and mentioning how Sean Payton and Jason Garrett stuck around for a long time as assistants in Dallas because, quote, every one of those three coaches have said they'd love to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So my point is that has, in my mind, a lot of logic as to why they might not take a job now rather than one or wait and see how the cards go in the future. The follow-up question was kind of obvious. Like, what about your current head coach, Mike McCarthy? And the quote was, Mike knows that someday somebody other than him will be coach of the Cowboys. What do you think about that supposition, Coach Mike McCarthy?
Oh, so we have an hour, correct?
Boy, that.
The floor is yours. The time's yours, as Andy Reid might say in the media. So,
but it's a damn shame.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's a number of things. I mean, I think number one, I think it's every landscape in this league is different. I've been very fortunate to work at two of the premier organizations in pro football, and they're all different. So, and I think clearly in this in this situation, the way things are done here, there's a bigger picture focus, and I've always frankly just keep it about winning, and I've always kind of taken a blind eye or blind ear to those things. But
shot. I keep it about winning. Them dudes over there focus about big picture shit. They over there focus about how is this gonna affect our sponsors. We got to think about how this gonna play out to the media. See, he like I keep it about winning. Ooh. Boy, that boy Mike McCarthy, that boy was the best at them slick shots. He was the best. Listen, man, I'm being honest with y'all. This is where I think my boy Brian Schottenheimer needs to take some notes. You better get better at using that media to even it out. You better go get you some Rich Eisen friends. See, boy, that boy Mike this is why me and Landlord used to call him the Don Corleone. You might hate him based on what he did on offense and running a bunch of stop routes, but when it came to managing within and managing the politics, that dude was a vet. Hands down, a vet. Listen.
But that's not the case when you work here. So I mean, I think clearly
that's not the case when you work here. Take it easy on my back.
When you look at those type of comments, I think you have to understand, the platform where they come from. I mean, I have an excellent relationship with Jerry Jones. We talk on a regular basis about everything and anything, big picture, tight focus on what we're doing, program wise, and more importantly, his biggest interest is the development of our players, especially our young players. So, but when I look at the comments, I mean, the thing about Dan,
Now listen, remember what Bobby Bell said. Remember what he put out there, that Mike was insecure, that Mike was the one that had tension with Dan Quinn, where Dan Quinn eventually said, do I belong here? Should I be here? Let's look at what really caused that shit.
Dan Quinn being here was very important to me and our organization.
Oh, wait. Does that sound like insecurity? Excuse me, take it easy on my back.
Take it easy on my back.
I'm just showing actual evidence and receipts. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, Mr. Nasty Time.
I think it's the reality of it is, Dan and I had visited long before he ever took a head coach interview, frankly, long before the playoffs even started, about how happy he is here. And I envy him in some ways where, as a head coach, you get pulled away from the things that really would help you advance in this league. So, I mean, the joy that he was having coordinating, he's been a tremendous asset for me, personally and professionally, just having another individual with the experience of a head coach. So, we talked about him staying here, long before he even took the interview. Now, obviously, when he took the interview, and then this narrative broke out, I think in reflection to the relationship that Dan and I do have, he just said, "Hey, man."
Based on the relationship that we have. Now, Bobby said it like the tension was from Mike McCarthy and the success of Dan Quinn. But based on them having a real respect for each other, Dan Quinn went to him directly. Let's listen to what happened.
If I'm not comfortable with this narrative,
What narrative? I'm not comfortable with Jerry's narrative. The narrative that Jerry put out there. That's the narrative he's talking about. Now listen again.
Like the Sean Payton thing. Sean Payton knew how things operated here. Yeah. Sean Payton wants to run things all his way, knows he would not be able to do that in Dallas, and still wanted to be here because it's the Dallas Cowboys and it matters. There's an aura that exists here. The Quinn issue became something where there's just this natural tension that exists to the point where Dan Quinn had intimated people, it was my understanding, had intimated to people after a year or two, was just like, should I go? Like this feels uncomfortable for everybody. Should I just go?
Okay, let's listen to what really happened.
If you really feel like I need to take one of these jobs, just be honest with them. And we kind of laughed about it, and I just said, Dan.
They laughed about it. Now, Mike McCarthy's supposed to be the one that's insecure, but they laughing. They basically was laughing at Jerry. They basically was like, man, let's stay focused.
10 to 12 years ago, I'd tell you, please get the hell out of here. I don't want to deal with this. But the reality of it is, I'm about winning. He's about winning. And the best thing for the Cowboys is for Dan Quinn to be here. And no, obviously it was his decision, his alone. But I clearly wanted him to know from the start of all that I wanted him here because it's in the best interest of us winning.
I wanted him here. I wanted him here. If he was insecure, he had a chance for Dan Quinn to get up out. Because Dan Quinn went to him directly and was like, should I leave? Based on what Jerry just did. Should the fact that he just openly made it seem like I'm colluding behind your back and that we having discussions about taking your job. Me and you cool, man. Should I leave? And Mike McCarthy put the Cowboys first and say, nah, bro. They laugh like, man, y'all know Jerry crazy, bro. We know how they do shit here. Let's stay focused. I want you.
That's just a long time, Rich. I understand, how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. And so the best thing for us, one of the best, for our opportunity to be at the forefront of how we want to do it here, it's having Dan Quinn. So, as far as what happens next and all that, I think that's really just part of the landscape. Jerry's the owner, he's the GM, and I mean.
So listen. So the question is, did Bobby hear that? He probably did. Was it trash? Absolutely. Yeah. That's why I called it trash in, trash out. Trash in. So all the people that was reporting to Bobby, Mike was insecure. Yeah, that don't mean he didn't hear it, but whoever fed you that does not match the horse's mouth at all. And so then I gotta go try to discuss this with people who trusted the inside information. And this is why you get people like my brother Slugger, who said the fact that Big Mike felt threatened. Why did he call that rumor a fact? Why? Because he blindly trusted Bobby Belt. That's why. Not understanding that sometimes what can be leaked to any one of these people could be being weaponized. You got literally Jerry over here saying, I use the media. So you can be an innocent media person being manipulated. Because you listening to front office version. And so you putting out, hey, this is what I hear. I'm the insider and I say so. And so this is how to discern it. It has to line up to the facts. It's that simple. If an insider say something and it don't line up to the facts, go on, wipe it and put it in the toilet. Straight up. Wipe it and put it in the toilet. So I told y'all I was going to show you multiple examples of this happening. Okay. So let me show you some more. I got plenty of receipts. Because see, we need an educated fan base. We don't need fans that, oh, the insider said it. See, that's what's going on right now. That's why everybody went at, oh boy, from Blogging in the Balls. Bobby reported that this a lie, so and he's an insider. Okay. Well, it still got to line up. If the shit don't line up, I don't care who reported it. So y'all listen to this.
Next one. This is the one that'll burn some people. Al Harris.
Ooh.
He goes, easily the most popular position coach the Cowboys have had in some time. Al Harris quickly gained a sterling reputation for his work with the Cowboys corners. When McCarthy opted to leave Dallas this past offseason, Harris found a new home. He's the defensive backs coach and pass game coordinator for the Bears. The reasons to avoid Harris are twofold, though. For starters, Harris is more of a technician than a tactician by his own admission. And then he says the others, the more concerning factor is the perception that some in the building had of Harris and the way he treated Diggs and Bland. According to the Cowboys' own Brad Sham, there was a sense that Harris babied his players and didn't push them enough.
All right, so let's pause. So it was leaked to Brad Sham that Diggs didn't push his players. He was soft on them. Does that mean Brad Sham was lying? No. Because Brad Sham, I've been listening to him for a while. I've never known him to be a water carrier. I've never known him to not take football serious. The only thing I believe is that he was reporting what he was hearing. And that's what he was told by people from the inside. But then you got to ask the question. Was his voice weaponized as an insider? Did they use Brad Sham or people like him to put out their version?
Here's my follow-up to what Brad said, and I know Brad is up and active right now because he was responding to my college football pass interference question, saying they'd have to bring out a tire iron in order to call that at the end of the Miami game last night. Could I make the argument that Al Harris did what needed to be done to get the best out of Diggs? I understand babying. I'm just asking the question. I understand babying and setting up bad habits, but you obviously treat everyone differently and the same. You know, if Diggs was still here and you're interviewing people and Al Harris is like, this is how I'm going to get the best out of him, this is how I'm going to treat him, and Deron Bland, whatever his relationship with Bland was, like, you did get the best out of the player.
Bland, he definitely...
In a better physical status.
Bland, I think he definitely gets a lot of credit from people for helping Bland come along. Diggs, I think there is a sense that, like, maybe harmed Diggs once he got into the rehab portion. So it's like, yeah, when things were healthy and fine, he was fine. But as soon as he got to the rehab, babied him. And I think it's just more the idea of applying that to an entire defense, being in charge of an entire defense and applying that mindset to guys. I don't think they want that.
Isn't there a hard assness to Al Harris?
A little, yeah, there is, but it's like kind of it's the same way he was when he was a player, which it's outwardly focused in a lot of instances. It's more like, yeah, F them. And so
So Al Harris was only hard on outside players.
It's a little bit more coddled at times. McCarthy would get like that. McCarthy was
So Al Harris was a coddler.
very F them to the exterior and kind of coddled and like, hey, this is just us. We're family in here.
So now, like I said, we looked at the evidence of what really happened with Dan Quinn, and we determined that...
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
So now let me look at actual footage of Al Harris coaching, and let's see if he's a coddler.
Throws a deep ball down the left side, broken up by Diggs again. Holy cow.
It was not a bad throw. It's just a great play by a really good player who has a knack for finding the ball.
That's a drop.
Now, everybody else over here like, what a great play. What a great play. What does his coach say right to his face? That's a drop. That's a drop. Right to his face. Right to his face.
Knack for finding the ball.
That's a drop.
How is that a drop?
We do hands out the jaws. That's a drop.
No.
He said that's a effing drop. Do y'all think Al Harris was playing? Do y'all think he was coddling Diggs right there? Was he coddling Diggs? What does your eye see? I know you hear what the insiders are saying, but what does your real eye see? Do you see him being hard on the outside? Or do you see him being hard on this all-pro and it's right there in your face? What do you actually see is my question. What do you see?
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
You're reaching.
Oh, shit. Is that Diggs and all-pro doing push-ups on the sideline? Is that soft? My question is, when CD had all them drops, did you see him doing push-ups on the sideline? Did you see his coach say, give me some push-ups, man, all them damn drops? I see Al Harris being tough on his all-pro. I don't see soft. I don't see babying. I don't see, what did Bobby say? On the outside, what did he say? Let's listen to Bobby again.
Diggs, I think there is a sense that, like, maybe harmed Diggs once he got into the rehab portion. So it's like, yeah, when things were healthy and fine, he was fine. But as soon as he got to the rehab, babied him. And I think it's just more the idea of applying that to an entire defense, being in charge of an entire defense and applying that mindset to guys. I don't think they want that.
Isn't there a hard assness to Al Harris?
A little, yeah, there is, but it's like kind of it's the same way he was when he was a player, which it's outwardly focused in a lot of instances. It's
Really, really good day for Trayvon Diggs.
While everybody was saying, really, really good day. Now, Brad Sham, that's who put the leak out there. Really, really good. As he was saying, really, really good day for Diggs. Look what his coach had him doing. Push-ups. Is that I'm tough at the other guys, or that's tough on Diggs? What does your actual eyes see? What do you actually hear? It looks like that was a lie.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
How is that a drop?
Al Harris is not bullshitting. He wasn't bullshitting at all. He like, ha 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 ha, that's a drop. He say, no, that's a drop. That's a drop. We do one-handed drills on a jug machine. That's a drop. And he wasn't playing. Give me some push-ups.
No, you're reaching. Really, really good day for Trayvon Diggs.
Then told him that was 8. Oh, y'all ain't peeped that. Y'all ain't peeped that. Diggs down there, he told me give him 10. He say, nah, that ain't 10. That's 8. That mean Al Harris was watching him count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nah, that ain't good enough. You owe me 2 more. Hell wrong with you. But he's soft on his players.
Realistically,
So he over here trying to make a case for himself. Let's listen to Al Harris and see if he's soft.
ball could be a pick.
Did you see how he took off his headset? He took off his headset like, well, if you shut the fuck up with that, like.
Realistically, every ball could be a pick.
Watch how he take off his headset. You think Al Harris was playing? Look at this.
Realistically, every ball could be a pick.
He took off his headset like, boy.
Realistically, every ball could be a pick.
Man, we said that last year. I ain't hearing that, Diggs. But he was soft. It looked like the lie detector test by evidence has determined that was a lie.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Dog, seriously, if your eyes are in the right spot, anything downfield could be an interception.
That boy told him, if your eyes in the right spot, anything downfield should be an interception. Okay. So do y'all remember they was blaming that cover 2? They was blaming that cover 2 on Diggs. Y'all remember that? It was coming from the insiders again. Right? See, that's why I'm showing you that some of these insiders are weaponized. When the front office want to push a narrative, they don't do the dirty work. They'll get on the phone and tell you some rumors, and some of these insiders will go out there and report what they're hearing. It don't mean that they've been shaded. That's just what they're hearing. And when they hearing it and that trash is going in, they go put that trash out. I'm just keeping it real. And see, I'm showing y'all receipts. That's the difference between me and a lot of them and a lot of people. I'm showing you direct evidence of direct contradictions. And I got plenty of more. I ain't gonna listen. I will break the internet. My boy Sidney Jones say off topic, but this is playoffs. Don't show the importance of defense. Nothing will. Yeah, sadly, Sidney, I'm not even watching it, bro. I'm so fucking mad at Dallas. I ain't looked at now playoff game. I'm gonna look at the highlights, but it just hurt too much to watch people playing where I know my Cowboys should be. Should I be watching it? Sure. But I've been hearing about the defense out there balling. I appreciate that, man. And that's a good super chat. I appreciate that. But y'all remember, what did actually Shotty say? Listen.
You guys are in cover 2 there. They motioned across. Nobody got a jam on the receivers. Malik kind of jumps the inside. Could you just walk through the coaching points on that play?
Yeah, it was a good build by them. When they motion over, it kind of takes the jam off because of the speed that they're developing, so it takes the jam off. And cover 2 obviously has holes in it. They got us on another play down the boundary. And again, Malik had eyes on the inside guy. Really, Trey can kind of keep pedaling. But again, I think he made a really good throw.
Who was the insiders blaming? I'm about to say, man, I want them defenses, boss. We got to fight for it. See, that's why I'm doing stuff like this. See, we gotta realize, to my boy D Shift, if we want a better defense, we gotta realize that likely Brian is gonna be meddled with, and we gotta be able to discern it and then know how to get on Brian's side. That's the main reason for this show. It's not to just go into the past. It's to show how the past is relevant to now. So when we see Brian not getting what he's asking for, we should recognize that, and we should get behind him to put pressure on them to get off his back and let him cook.
Bro, and he's that type of passer that if you're not in the right perfect.
Yes, he was. Angie say, sounds like Shotty was hinting at Hooker. Because guess what? You know how to listen to what they're actually saying, not the insiders. See, when you listen to if you listen to the insiders, they was blaming Diggs. Diggs should have picked it up. It was man. It turned into man. Okay.
Spots, and you don't get the reroute, and the safeties don't get wide enough. You can be punished on it.
So the coaching point, if it comes up again?
Yeah, same thing. Trey's just got to keep losing depth, and Malik got to try to get wider and trust the guy running down the hole. But again, I've seen him make that throw quite a bit in his career. You've probably hit a few hole shots in your life. No, not like that. No, his ball spins a little different. Yeah, his ball does spin a little bit different.
Yep. So they was putting out there blaming Diggs, and in reality, what was really going on is where it was Diggs' fault. The part that was Diggs' fault, Diggs should have took away the outside better, funneled them inside. But the person that was responsible for the deep halves was Malik Hooker. Yeah, both of them could have played that better. But who was everybody focused on? Diggs. That's what they was focused on. Another one that was a lie. It was a lie. Yep.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
So this one, now we finna get into what was scary about this DC search. See, this DC search was scary as hell. That's why I was relieved when I heard Parker. I was like, oh my God, thank you, Lord. Because anybody with common sense could see that they was pushing Gannon. They was pushing the hell out of Gannon. And he was getting pushed locally. His weird pew 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 ass was literally being pushed. I call him pew pew boy. Puncher.
What's up? Hey! What's up, man? How you doing? Good.
Pew. Pew 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 pew. This dude was being pushed locally like he fit Shotty.
Shots. Explosives. Welcome back. Who drove over here? Wait, let me see your hands. Who took the bus? You have fire in your gut? Did you? We're here for a reason. Don't get that twisted. Okay, we're here for a reason to win games. So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast.
I don't know if it's coaching, the philosophy, or something, but 15 and 36.
Shout out to the Law Nation. I got this from Law.
Yeah, bro. You know how many, that's a lot of days you go home and you are just literally pissed off.
Yeah, bro. I mean, listen.
Just imagine waking up 1,000 days straight and you are frustrated because you are losing.
That's the life of a loser. I gotta tell you, bro. Listen,
Pew,
it wouldn't have
pew.
took me 3 seasons to figure it out.
Pew,
You know,
pew.
just from the perspective of like, just figuring out how to use your best players. Like when I watch Cardinals games, I say to myself, man, like they don't know what to do with Buda Baker. And I think like as a coach, man, like you should lose sleep. Trying to draw up ways and scheme up ways to make those dudes look great. Right.
Yeah.
And because it's those dudes that's gonna,
propel a team.
propel a team.
Yeah.
But those dudes are gonna, they're gonna bring other guys around the league, right? Because of the way you see them play and the way that they having fun, right? And the way that they're featured. It makes other dudes want to go play for them, play with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like when you don't show off your best stuff,
right?
Don't nobody want to deal with you, right? So, yeah, man. I think we talked about it a few episodes ago, but even from him, like I just don't believe in his passion,
right?
Like you know what I mean? Like you gotta have some passion.
God, listen, man. And so this is what's sad. So Bobby Bell, we going back and forth, me and Bobby. And Bobby like trying to convince me, because I said it is a civil war in Dallas. Shotty pulling for Durante and Parker. The front office is the Jim and Gannon guys. Okay. And so he just come out of, just FY, this is not true. And I say, okay, enlighten me, shit. Like, enlighten me. And he say, Shotty isn't fighting with anyone. Boss, I'm the insider. I say so. Because I'm the insider, I say what's really going on. He's a fan of all 4 of them and ultimately making a decision. And everyone is comfortable with that. If they hire Leonard, that's who Shotty wanted. If they hire Jones, it's who Shotty wanted, and so on and so forth. So he was trying to convince me, because he's the insider and he say so, that we don't have a clear pattern of how Shotty moves. That there's not a clear pattern of Shotty. So let's kind of look at Shotty, right? And let's first finish what the insiders was saying.
Ian Rappaport tweeting yesterday that the Cowboys maintain their interest in one Jim Leonard. It'll be Jonathan Gannon interviewing today. Christian Parker from the Philadelphia Eagles will interview Wednesday. He did not release a timeline for Durante Jones, but he is also the other candidate that they're going to talk to in person. But Jim Leonard, he did identify, saying that is still somebody that they are interested in, somebody that they plan to talk to. So it does look like we've settled around these 4 individuals. Jim Leonard from the Broncos, Christian Parker from the Eagles, the recently fired Jonathan Gannon, and then Durante Jones from the Vikings, which I'm fine with all 4 of these guys. I think all 4 of these are
the fuck? I'm fine. I think
encouraging hires. Do think the one that would piss off Cowboys fans the most would probably be Jonathan Gannon, just because
the audio clips.
Well, the audio clips and also
the results.
Just because they're gonna look.
Thank you. Fucking Sean, he hit it there. And the results, see, clap it up. Sean kept it real as hell. Sean kept it real as hell. Trying to sell me that Shotty wanted somebody with low results. When we know the pattern, we've seen the pattern, it's very clear. The pattern of Shotty is he hires qualified strangers. So if you go look at the work of Law Nation, right? He highlighted how Gannon, the last 3 years, where he's supposed to be a defensive specialist, was always bottom 3rd, really bottom 4th of the league. But that's supposed to be a Shotty guy. Well, we know from how Shotty picked his offense that he picked qualified strangers. And Shotty was very clear about what type of person he was looking for.
Yeah, and what I would say, Nick, is, again, at the end of the day, we've had this conversation a lot. the best coaches, in my opinion, are flexible. So we're not going to pigeonhole ourselves and say, hey, we have to be 3-4, 4 down, whatever it is. I mean, I've been in the West Coast system, the digit system. Hell, I played for Steve Spurrier in the fun and gun, right? Good coaches take their players that they have. They've got an identity. They take their players and they fit their players into the model that fits what they do well. And that's why I go back to what I said earlier. You're looking for a teacher. You're looking for a guy that
we looking for a teacher. But Bobby's saying, he would have been cool with Pum 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 Boy.
And then they're going to go, okay, you got the guy who he's worked on.
He would have been cool with.
Has the ability to instruct and get guys to believe.
Get guys to believe
and get guys to buy in.
How you doing? Good. Shots.
We're salesmen. When you're up there in front of the players, you're selling them on why what you're doing offensively, defensively, special teams, why it's going to work. And part of that's your personality, part of it's your ability to communicate. But
Welcome
when
back.
we cast this wide net to go find the...
Who drove over here? Wait, let me see your hands. Who took the bus? You have fire in your gut? Did you? We're here for a
the right guy for this job, which we will find, no question about it. It's going to be the things that Jerry was talking about, but also the flexibility of, hey, we can do different things, because those are the things that when I talk with Jerry and Steven, those are the things that cause us problems, the flexibility and some of the unknowns and things like that.
Looking for specifically for your next defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I think John, a teacher, I love what Jerry said. We want to cast the wide,
What's up? Hey! What's up, man? How you doing? Good. Shots.
Net of candidates and find someone that's a great teacher, a great communicator. You guys know me, you're around me a lot.
A great teacher, a great communicator.
What's up? Hey! What's up, man? How you doing? Good. Shots.
I'm full of energy and love what I do.
Full of energy and love what I do.
Explosives. Welcome back. Who drove over here? Quick, let me see your hands. Who?
Pew. I'm the insider. I say so.
I think someone that's passionate about football, but the ability to take what is complicated information, what we ask our players to do in all three phases is complicated.
Took the bus. You have fire in your gut? Did you? We're here for a reason. Don't get that.
We want guys that can say complicated information in a simple manner.
That twisted. Okay, we're here for a reason to win games. So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast.
And if I say something to you that you don't understand, I need the ability to say it a different way. The same message, but say it a different way, because how you learn might be different than how Nick learns or how Ed learns. And I think that's the starting point for me.
So why the fuck was Gannon even in the second interview? Y'all really... So Bobby over here like, I'm the insider and I say so. Boss, you're wrong. Boss, you're wrong. No. Boss, no. You're wrong. Nope. I said so. And that's how it is. I'm the insider, boss. I am. So you go with it. It's like, what did I say? Trash in, trash out. If it don't align to the facts, I don't care who said it. I'm throwing it in the trash. I'm flushing it. And so when you hear Shotty so specific about, see, this is one thing anybody observing about Shotty should know. Shotty is always specific. Shotty is always this is one thing to where I know he's dope, because he's always very clear on his vision. He ain't never, not one time, been unclear about his vision on everything. So I showed this clip on Twitter. I said, looking back at the first Brian press conference, asked Brian, or Patrick No C, he asked Brian about modernizing the offense. Seeing the current offense in action, did Brian lie? And I played this clip. Listen.
Hey guys, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. 2 questions. The first I'll lead to Shotty, kind of circling back to what Jerry and Steven both said as far as freshening things up, looking for a change. From a head coach perspective, that's going to key in on the offense. Generally speaking, how do you look to move forward as far as modernizing the offense? You talk about solving for the quarterback. What does that look like under a Schottenheimer era?
Yeah, again, I go back to my days with Pete. I think if you go back and you look at some of the things we did in Seattle, obviously the starting point for me would be things that our players do well. You're always going to start with that. If your system's not flexible enough to do what your players do well, then you're probably in the wrong business. But I'm a big believer in cut splits.
Did he lie? Cut splits is where they bunching them up together. Did he lie about that? Nope, he did that.
I'm a big believer in shifts and motions.
Did he lie? Did he lie? No, it was way more shifts and motions.
To distort things. We're going to do a great job of marrying our runs and our passes and make those look the same.
Did he lie? Did he lie?
I'm proud to say that 2 different times in my career as a coordinator, we led the league in rushing.
He did. Not attempts, but in rushing. But let me also say this. He never even had the staff to support his vision.
And they go hand in hand. The running game and the action passing game go hand in hand. But I would say there's a tempo element that we're excited to mix in, that our players have all shown an affinity for. And let me expand on that a little bit. Why do players like tempo?
So when you go look at even the comments, right, when I played that clip, somebody said, nigga, we going to the Super Bowl. Because it was clear that Shotty was doing everything he said. He said, I was advocating for Shotty once he was hired. Cowboy Nation, let's get behind it, right? And then somebody said, he ain't lying, right? He said, get up to the line, move guys around, and D has to show his hand. Finally, damn running game is consistent. Just need a running back too. Somebody know what they talking about right there. And then somebody say Mr. Fourth and Long should answer this. He's been talking about it all season. Yeah, absolutely, because Shotty was doing absolutely what he said. He said, somebody said, so far, he's done exactly what he said he was going to do on the offense. This is Cowboy Nation, all of us saying he kept his word. But we supposed to believe that on a defensive coordinator that he just went with pew, 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 pew. This is what Bobby's saying. Bobby's saying that he keeps his word. He does what he says he's going to do. He's clear on his vision every time. Listen at this.
I was here, but there's a few more things that we'll add that I'm excited to put on film.
And you are going to be calling plays?
I will.
And what about running back?
Y'all let me know if I'm back. Okay, I can see me. All right. Okay, I see it. All right. Whew. Listen. All right, let me get back to what I was saying. Giving y'all this substance, this good juice. That's just gonna be something I have to clip out later. But what I was showing you is that Shotty is a person that keeps his word. Okay. and I was playing the clip from what he said at the end of the year at his first press conference. So listen, y'all, I'm building the case here. That's what I said. This one is going to be like I'm an attorney on this one. I'm showing you how we need to get Shotty's back. That Shotty is in fights. And it's these old fake narratives out there like, it was this DC. It was 100% Shotty. No, it was not. It was not 100% Shotty. I'm not going to let people go out there and just believe in Santa Claus. No. They still got their ugly ass hand and shit. And we got to be aware of this. If we not aware of this, you know, and people out there like Bobby over here like, yeah, Pum Pum boy, Pum boy was really Shotty. I'm showing y'all that Shotty has a pattern of doing exactly what he said he's going to do. Listen.
Are we going to see that again next year?
That all depends. We add that I'm excited to put on film.
And you are going to be calling plays?
I will.
And what about running back by committee? Are we going to see that again next year?
What about running back committee? Are we going to see that next year?
That all depends.
It all depends. Who does that depend on? So what you see with the running backs all depends on what front office does. And I'm trying to tell y'all have not even seen the best of Shotty yet. You have not seen the best of Shotty yet. You haven't seen the best of Shotty because you haven't seen Shotty fully have his full vision empowered yet.
Hey guys, Patrick Walker, Dallas Cowboys.com.
Wrong clip, this one.
We got to be flexible enough based on our roster, but again, I know he's a free agent, but you know, just so proud of Rico. And
ain't that something? Ain't that something? Guess who he brought up on his own, unprompted. Who did he bring up? Who did he bring up on his own? Rico. Buckle up. Did they supply him with what he needed? If your head coach go out there and say, "Give me Rico," shouldn't front office go do that? Huh? Are they really having his full back? See, that's why you can't let the media be weaponized. This is why you got to keep your eye on the influence. That's why I told Bobby directly, I'm not buying that Shotty was behind Pum boy. Because it's too much history of him being very specific in his vision of what he wants.
What he did, but each year is different, and this system will be built based on what gives our players the best chance to be successful.
Looking forward to it, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jane.
So let's listen at him again. Let's just keep listening.
I like big backs, you know, I really do. I think it's that type of league right now with how everything is, you know, played and physical. And
so Shotty over here, I like big backs. So I'm trying to show the pattern of Shotty and how it don't align to what Bobby said. So Bobby over here telling me, boss, no, if it's Gannon, he was behind it. I'm like, Bobby,
oh, hell no.
I ain't believing that for 1 fucking second. Not even one. My head coach has always been very clear on the vision of what he wanted. So when he said he wanted big backs, right? And I looked at his whole history. He talking about backs that's around 5'10", 5'11", around 215. If you look at the history of him and his daddy. And who was that? Yeah, it froze for a second. I'm back now. Who was that? Who was the guy that Shotty bubble wrapped and then allow him to play no preseason games? And was he right? Was Shotty right? Huh? He was right, wasn't he? when he said he liked big backs. Front office only gave him one though. He needed 2, maybe 3, because that's what he wants. If he was right on Williams, we can't trust him to build the offense the way he wants to build the offense. So when you look at the pattern of Shotty knows exactly what he wants.
I like big backs, I really do. I think it's that type of league right now with how everything is, played and physical. And
okay. So what about the trenches, boss? What was Shotty's vision for the trenches?
What do you want your offensive identity to be?
Physical. Again.
What did you want your offensive identity to be? Finesse, speed. Nope. What did he say?
What do you want your offensive identity to be?
Physical.
Fast. Explosive. No.
What do you want your offensive identity to be?
Physical. Again, I talked a little bit in the opening press conference about, the marriage between the run game and the action passes. But, as a football team, as an offense, we want to be physical. My MO has always been to run the football. I really believe that the game, like I said, is up front. Led the league twice, the coordinator.
The game is what? One up front.
Out of that, I think getting a guy like Clayton Adams really helps us as the coordinator. His knowledge, I've been tracking him for a couple years now. He's an incredible mind when it comes to not just the run game, but
exactly what Emp said. We got to keep the pressure up. That's the whole point of doing this show. Because see, Bobby said, no, all 4 of those guys were Shotty's guys. I'm the insider and I say so. And I'm watching this clear pattern of Shotty really saying these games are won in the trenches. Was he right? 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 Oh, we love it now. Oh, we love it now. But Bobby over here, like a man that's been very, very specific on his vision, who was very specific on what he wanted in the DC. Bobby was trying to tell me and y'all that he would have been cool with Gannon. That Gannon wouldn't have been another Trojan horse. See, that's why we can't be suckers for the insider said it and it's so. This is why we got to be conscious that sometimes insiders can be weaponized depending on what they fed. So if front office is feeding them, oh, Shotty, he's actually cool. It don't match. It doesn't match the pattern of Shotty though. So we got all these clips showing that Shotty knows clearly his vision, that Shotty executes his vision, that Shotty is very detailed on what really builds a team. And I'm supposed to real life believe that Gannon, a bad communicator, a weirdo, a guy who punched his own player, that Shotty would have. Okay, am I the only one that can clearly see that he was a front office plant? Am I the only one that can see that he actually fits more so the pattern of what Jerry said he wanted and usually like? What did Jerry say on the exit interview? What did he say? I like the types that got their proverbial butt kicked. The redemption story. I called her in love with losers, an allegiance to losers. It didn't match Shoddy. But because an insider said so, man, go read these comments of these people who fall for this shit. Hold on, let me go show y'all these comments. This shit is shameful. I don't believe it for 1 second. Not even 1 second. So in this clip, I was showing where Jerry is the one that liked them Gannon types. But they trying to sell us that, oh, Shoddy cast a wide net. This was all Shoddy. Jerry sat back. Trust us. We're the insiders. We're telling you that, yeah, it was no war. It was no back and forth. Gannon made it to the second interview. Really? Look at these comments. And then he say, you're digging into something that's not true. No one is twisting his arm with any of these candidates. For someone who wants fans to have all the information, you're spreading actively false information with these because you don't like it. Nah, it's because I pay attention to the pattern. I watch Shoddy very specific on the trenches, and he was right. On running back, he was right. On the type of offense he was going to run, he was right. But then all of a sudden, he said specifically what he was looking for in DC, and he trying to sell us that he wanted Pum Pum Boy. He wanted Weirdo. He wanted Pum Pum Pum.
What's up? Hey! What's up, man? How you doing? Good. Good.
Pum Pum. Yeah, Shoddy wanted that shit. Man, fuck that. Ain't no way I'm gonna let anybody try to talk me out of common sense. Ain't no way. Hell no. I ain't gonna let you do it, sir. Sorry. I ain't sorry. Fuck it. I ain't sorry at all. Look at that. People just impatient, Bobby, and love low-hanging fruit. I said, nah, we just look at patterns and listen to Shoddy. How the hell is awkward, weird Gannon that punches his player a Shoddy type? It doesn't add up. Nope. And see, if we don't peep game, y'all ain't gonna know, and we ain't gonna know when to have Shoddy's back. See, we should know. We should know from Mike McCarthy. We should know that they will put a Trojan horse on you. We should know from Brian Schottenheimer and Eberflus that we are prone to put a Trojan horse type coach on you. That's why I was super relieved that we got Parker instead of Gannon. And no, I still don't believe Parker was Shoddy's ideal candidate because I listened to Shoddy. That's the difference between me and a lot of other content creators. I literally fully listen to Shoddy. He say, to be fair, boss, his energy is a Shoddy type, but all the other parts are ass. His energy? Yeah. I don't see no energy, but I take your word for it, common sense. You know what I'm saying? But cause see, Shoddy was real clear teacher, communicator in front of the room, all of that. Nah, dude ain't fit. And boss, this he would have been cool with that. Nah, I ain't going for I'm the insider and I say so just take it. Nah, I ain't doing that shit ever. So let me we finna wrap this up. Okay. The bottom line is this: we got to keep our eyes open, because if you watch this thing, this is not to say that Bobby is carrying water. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying any one of them carrying water. I don't know what they're doing. All I'm saying is be independent enough to look at the evidence and see if the evidence match what they saying. If they saying it's on Diggs, that it was man and he should have covered that receiver downfield, it should match the evidence. If they saying Gannon legitimately made it to interview 2, it should match the pattern of Shoddy. If they out here saying that Mike McCarthy was insecure of Quinn, it should match the evidence. And if it don't match the evidence, I don't care that you're an insider. You could be, like Jerry said, I use you. That's a possibility too. It's too many people that when they see insider, they just blindly go with it. They said it. That person's an insider. That's it. We never factor in the other side to where could something get planted on them? Could they be planting? Could it be that Brad Sham reported it? That yes, people in the building felt like Diggs was soft on his players. But did that match the evidence? Huh? Does Gannon match the evidence of Shotty? Shotty spent all his time talking about how he cares for his players, and he want a reflection of that through his staff. That's why everybody supposed to greet every player before practice. This man punched his own player and got fined by his own team. And you telling me Shotty, it was Shotty that got him to the second interview and potentially final interview?
Oh, hell no.
Mm-mm. So when I look at the lessons from this DC, it's some scary ones. I'm going to show you one of the most scariest ones. I'm going to show you the most scariest ones. Let me show y'all something real quick. I asked on January 15th. Y'all check this out. This shit crazy. This is scary right here. I asked and I said, common sense test. Who should get credit for development of Patrick Surtain? Almost 50% said Jim Leonhard. Why? Who was being pushed the most locally on us? You want me to tell you why that's scary? Because I asked the exact same question yesterday. Now 95% said Christian Parker. When I asked it before Christian Parker was hired, almost 50% said Jim Leonhard. What does that say? What does that say about the power of media? What does that say about Cowboy fans? I'm asking a real question. What does that say? When before we make the hire, 50% of people was actually giving credit to Jim for Patrick Surtain. And it was never logical. But who was pushed exponentially by the local media? Jim. And when they was pushing Jim and Jim, go look at the fan thumbnails. Go look at the fan thumbnails. Now you go see Parker. It was no Parker thumbnails before they made the hire. It was none. It was no bullying. Bullying out of New York? None. Not one. Durante? Not a one. Not one. All the thumbnails in the DC race was Gannon and Jim. And look what it did to the psyche of our fans. The psyche of our fans before Chris. I asked the exact same question. The exact same way. Literally nothing different. I said common sense test. Who should get the credit for development of Patrick Surtain? And people was pushing against Christian Parker. Look. None of the above. It was his dad. Look at me. You sure? Parker did it twice. Huh? Himself, he's been that since day one. Sure. Then my boy Blake. The Leonard vendetta you have. Did I really have a vendetta? Really? Did I have a vendetta? Or was I telling the truth? Was I telling the truth? Because it was very common sense. Like Parker was coaching Surtain for 3 years before Linhard even showed up. So how the hell did he get any credit for that shit? But I was supposed to be on a vendetta. Was I on a vendetta? Or was I always showing that it was common sense that it was Parker who did a majority of the coaching for Surtain and those Philly corners? But what does that say about the power of the media? To where because they Parker Durante Parker Bullet. What does that say it does to the mind of people? Yeah. Somebody finally said it. Somebody said common sense would say Christian Parker. Obviously, Surtain had the skill set, but Christian Parker was there for Surtain's. Somebody finally said what was obviously common sense. I said, yet Jim is pushed, even though the resume of a player development is Parker. And I was saying, who's pushed? Who's pushed? Somebody named Randor had some common sense. This dude had common sense too. He say, Parker, they are hyping up Leonard too much for me. So, you see, most people gave credit to Surtain's dad. Let's go look at the difference. Let's go look at the difference now that we done made the hire. Let's go see what Cowboy fans say now. Let's go look at what they're saying now. Now, this person, everyone knows this Parker. Well, what was you on the first poll? This ghost account that keep popping up. Option C. Surtain gets most of the credit. Coaches can't turn water into wine. He was wrong on that. This boy showed up on both, talking about his dad. Then somebody said Linhard didn't join the Broncos. See, and now they got common sense. Then somebody say Nick Saban or Surtain Sr. They still doing that shit. Somebody say check Parker stats. See, now we got Parker advocates. See, where was the Parker advocates when I first asked? Where were they? It was hardly any of them. That shows you the power of why we gotta be careful and understand that media can be weaponized. That if front office is leaking to them their version and they putting it out on the different airwaves, what does that do to the majority of listeners? They just blindly trust it. They just say insider. Insider. But can't y'all see? I asked the exact same question. Literally the exact same question. The only difference is one was before the hire, one was after the hire. This also says something about Cowboy fans. This says that we jump on board and we get drunk in optimism once somebody's officially ours. This is a mirror of who Cowboy Nation is. That once we acquire Blue and somebody go out there and say he's Tony Dorsett, we start believing it immediately. It show you how thirsty we are too for good news. This is why a lot of content creators play. They play y'all. They really do. They know y'all want to hear optimism. So that's all they feed you. That's all they feed you. Because this shows you what you really want to hear. Y'all didn't give a damn about Parker. Then after he was hired, the polls say, now you believe in Parker. You didn't give a damn about Parker before he became your DC. That's what this poll says. You was half of Cowboys that was in this poll was giving credit to a guy that had nothing to do with Parker's success. See, I'm showing you all the reasons to why the media is weaponized, because we are controllable. We can be sheep if we don't wake up. That's why I do shows like this to help wake you up so that you're not a sheep. So that you can discern and you can actually sit back and say, is that making sense? What this insider is saying? Does that actually match? Like, is that a real reason to not want Al Harris saying he babied his players? Is that real? Or is that something that's been fed? Is that something that they just fed that insider to get us off of the hunt of wanting him as a DC? Exactly, Angie. Angie say eating too much candy, not eating your vegetables, or brushing and flossing your teeth. Exactly. This is vegetables. This is vegetable content. This is real, honest content with receipts. My boy M said perfectly. Trust but verify. Absolutely. So I'm like, this is what we got to learn from the DC search. We got to learn from this, and we got to be smarter going forward. That don't just trust them because they have insider by their name. I got to look at your track record. I got to look at your integrity. I got to look at your motives. And I got to sometimes say, are you being fed that? Is this something to where maybe you don't even know any better, but because you heard it from Jerry or Steven, you're reporting it, but it's also making you report their side of it. The last thing I'm going to say about this DC search, and this going to take only 3 minutes. We all should be happy for Christian Parker. Christian Parker is dope. Okay. There are some question marks, but he's dope. I also have to be very, very aware of this. Your Dallas Cowboys did not at all go well hunting again. This is the second year in a row that they have elected that we will not look at whales.
Go ahead,
This is the second year in a row that they said, Ben Johnson, we ain't looking at that. Nope. Vabril, nah, we ain't looking at that. We're not looking at that. And we have to be conscious and measure this going forward. We can't be so thirsty because it's been 30 years that we let Jerry give us anything. At least this time they interviewed non-candidates, boss. They only did 2 last year. That's good enough for you, dog. That's good enough. Oh, you happy because the net was wider. That's your standard. You feel better because they had more people they talked to. You feel better because this one is black. Is that it? Is that your standard? At least he black. Like, is that all? Okay. So, in my opinion, if we really smart about this, we should keep record. We should wait till all of this play out, right? And just like we would do with the draft, watch the careers of the guys we could have and should have interviewed. So that if Parker and Brian Schottenheimer a year from now or 2 years from now are let go because they just not getting it done, or because they trying to push Witten onto the staff, we need to be able to keep a record and say, okay, are y'all go shop for Wells now? Or y'all go shop for the Vrabels now? The Ben Johnsons now? Or you go shop for the Raheem Morris now? The guys that actually were DCs, won Super Bowls as DCs, guys that earned, and I'm talking about still to this day respected as DCs and defensive minds right now, burning hot right now. And there's no excuse. Bobby Bell put that out too. He put that out that they was basically looking at it like when it came down to Brian Flores that, you know, they felt like he was going to likely get a head coaching opportunity or, you know, or he was going to return to Minnesota. That is absolutely not a reason not to interview him. And they talked about it. Listen to this in the conversation with Morris. Listen.
We should feel good about. So it does feel like those four are the ones that they're kind of coalescing around. Now for Cowboys offseason decisions. The offense.
By the way, I don't think I read Raheem Morris's name on any of those Vegas odds lists.
I did not.
Ain't that some bullshit? See, to me, the people who've been doing a damn good job, Sean and RJ, they've been doing damn good. They've been asking hard questions. They've been keeping it real. They've been keeping it all the way real. Listen to RJ right here. Listen.
See it either.
I think the Cowboys did not get good feedback about him when they asked around.
Here go Bobby Bell again. He ain't get good feedback. I'm the insider. I say so. So then guess what the people they'll start parroting that. Well, according to Bobby Bell, they didn't get good feedback about him, so that's why they ain't even decide to look. The insider said it, so that's what I'm going to go with. They ain't get a good report. Shit. RJ pushed back on that. Listen.
I don't think that they got encouraging.
Why don't you do your own feedback?
That's how you determine who you
Y'all hear RJ? Clap it up for RJ. Boy, you was driving in the snow? Boy. Man, I'm glad you made it home, boy. Ooh, it's dirty out there. Listen.
Why don't you do your own feedback?
Y'all hear RJ?
Feedback about him when they asked around. I don't think that they got encouraging.
Why don't you do your own feedback?
That's how you determine who you want to talk to. I think you've got to winnow down the list based on what.
Listen, Bobby. That's how you determine who you dwindle it down.
What do other people around the league say about it?
You know what? This is why my dad, and he took this, I don't remember who he took this from, he would never buy me used books at college.
Why?
He said, what if the other person was a complete moron that underlined all the books?
That is a fantastic point, and I love your dad for that.
What do you mean? Like that they crossed out what you should be reading?
You know how like people will highlight,
they're
underline
stressing
stuff?
What they think is important?
Yeah, he goes, what if that person's a complete idiot?
You naturally end up reading the stress and emphasis of somebody who's dumb.
That's amazing. I'm just amazed how Bobby loved that metaphor, and he still go turn right around and defend front office stupid shit.
I love that thought process, actually.
Like he loved it, and then he go watch. He go right back to defending front office.
Where did he either got that from somewhere or he's
I don't know
a
where he
genius.
got it from. But it's like,
He wasn't a genius.
You take
I love you, Ralph.
You take the information somebody gives you, but you still talk to them, you still interview them.
Man, shout out to all my brothers and sisters that got to go to work and this stuff, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Prayers, y'all pray for the people that got to get into these elements.
Yeah. Even if they say, nah, this guy's tough to work with.
Right,
Well,
but
maybe that person that told
how do
you
you
that.
start?
What if we would have did that with George Pickens? What if we would have just took Pittsburgh report? What if we would have, did that dumb shit? That's RJ's point, and it's an excellent point.
Where do you start? That's any job, though, right? Like, I mean, you generally get an idea.
There's
of,
no
like,
excuse not to talk to Ben Johnson, Mike.
Right. Sean wasn't hearing that shit. Sean was like, man, it's no excuse. You bring them type of coaches in. You supposed to bring in somebody like Flores, period, to even just learn from them.
Vrabel, Bill Belichick. There was no excuse not to talk to Bill Belichick.
I think
none whatsoever.
Belichick, they know. Like, I think they know whether or not they
know.
So here you go again defending them. See, they already know. They already know him. They know him. They know him as an opponent. They don't know him. It's like the toughest guy you're going against would also be the toughest guy on your team versus other people. See, one of the main reasons Michael Jordan wanted Dennis Rodman because he knew how Dennis Rodman was an asshole and tough against him. So if he had a chance to get him, he's going to be tough against them, the other guys.
Bill Belichick is not in an intricate presentation.
Yes, Amp. Yes, he did. Sean basically said, F that. Like, what you talking about? That's exactly what he did. He said, F that, man. What you talking about, Bobby? But like, well, come on, man.
Broken down what he thought about the Dallas Cowboys.
No.
I at least talked to you to get that info.
Right, but they know. I think they know instantly. Could they work with him? The others, I agree. They know. They did not think they could work with him. So the others, I agree on. Vrabel and Johnson, you should probably talk to him regardless. But Belichick, like, he was a GM they dealt with in trade discussions and free agent stuff for years. I think
Vrabel and Johnson, you should talk to them. They gone. That wasn't even a discussion. That's the obvious now, dog. Vrabel and Johnson, that wasn't even a discussion. The discussion was Morris. The discussion is Flores and Wales like Jim. Why did you just flip it to the obvious? The discussion was Morris.
they probably knew like we don't match, and then Belichick may have felt like we don't match. I don't know.
Well, if you have an opportunity to sit down for 3 hours with maybe the greatest football mind of all time,
you just do it. You just take the 3 hours.
You take the 3 hours and learn about yourself.
Kellen Moore. They interviewed Kellen Moore for the job. They didn't want him. No, I think that when you look at, especially knowing there's going to be a feeding frenzy and it's so wide open, you have to prioritize people.
It's going to be a feeding frenzy, so we have to prioritize people. So we elected to prioritize this motherfucker. See, that's why I say, man, I don't care if they got insider by their name. If it don't make sense, I'm not buying it. I'm throwing it in the trash. That shit don't make sense. You got to prioritize it. So let's prioritize Gannon. Let's not talk to Morris. Let's talk to Gannon lose ass. Let's not talk to some guys who won multiple Super Bowls. Flores got, I think, 4 of them. Known right now as the most innovative mind. Let's not talk to him. Let's prioritize Gannon. I'm saying 1-1 for real.
You want to interview, and if they had been told Raheem Morris is not somebody that they would match with, or no, that
Flores.
if they were like, hey, it doesn't really match with you guys, or the concepts that he believes are not stuff that you go for, I'm fairly certain they got not great feedback about Raheem Morris from some people.
You fairly certain that, yeah. They fed you some trash. And you out there feeding us trash. Trash in, trash out. I'm fairly certain, yeah, trash in, trash out. Leaks are only as good as the truth of the source. How the hell you gonna be pushing for Gannon? And Gannon was in Bobby Belt's top 2. Top 2 as likely candidates, and we over here like I'm pretty certain we got some reports that I'm the insider. I say so. I'm the insider. I say so.
And so that's why he was not prioritized on their list. But looking at the offensive side of the ball for the Cowboys, biggest blinking lights this offseason.
So listen, y'all. I'ma always pause, right? And it's a time to stop and say, what just happened with this DC thing? So that if it happened again, right? Matching concepts. Yeah, he said that. It's like, y'all see, that's the problem. Them people that said that to Bobby, we don't like him. It's the matching concepts. It's like, y'all the stupid asses that thought Eberflus was a match. I think y'all just need to stop trying to act like y'all know more than people who've just obviously done a way better job than you've ever done. These men won Super Bowls. These men have won multiple Super Bowls, and you're over here trying to talk about what their defense should match with yours. How about you humble yourself to them instead of them having to humble themselves to you and your loser ass defense? So this show is about not just going for it because I'm an insider and I say so, because I see a lot of that. I saw a whole lot of that. I saw a lot of that. When old boy came out and he was hold on real quick. Y'all give me 1 second, man. I'm having a brain fart. I'm starting to get tired. Y'all give me 1 second. Okay. I'm back on now. So when David Howman, okay. So we brought David Howman on. That's the difference between us and a lot of people. A lot of people just assumed that what he said was some bullshit. Right? The difference between us and them is we actually brought him on to hear what he had to say. Man, hold on. I ain't do my ad. Damn. I've been slipping on my ads. Let me get my ad in. Go for a Hail Mary and Sleeper picks and win up to 100 times your money. Use promo code BCS and Sleeper will 100% match your first deposit up to $100 instantly. Thank you. But we brought David in. And you know what it came down to? When people was trying to treat him like he was a wannabe, and he actually works for Blogging and the Boys, where they have credentials and all kind of stuff. He made a call. He made a call last year. See, most people didn't get the whole story of why he said he felt like it was an eternal civil war, like we said. He said that because he said he made a call last year about Flores. And he said it was an abrupt no. Last year. So they get to read tea leaves, but he can't. When he called up to front office himself. And he's saying based on how the body language directly has always been off when it came to Flores, that's why he said what he said. This is sourceless. This is sourceless. Bobby debunked it. So don't even say that. Parker was the first. Parker was the guy that they really wanted, don't you? Because Bobby debunked it. Boy, stop. Multiple people already debunked it. That's insiders. Man, y'all better take a closer look. Better take a closer look. I took a closer look. I took a closer look. I got the real story behind it. So ain't none of y'all can say, I called up there about Flores. He can. So he didn't need another source. He was the source. He was the guy who had personal knowledge of something being off when it came down to whale hunting, specifically the whale of Brian Flores. They gonna leave that out. So I peeped the game. So this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I suggest y'all do. Keep score. Just keep score. Keep score. This is what I mean by that. We got our guy. We got Parker. What we got to do is then judge him side by side the other candidates. We should see what he does here. Obviously, he has an uphill road. He's going to be dealing with a lot of bureaucracy. He's going to be dealing with a meddling front office. So it's already not fair to him. Just keeping it real. He's not going to be in a position like Mike McCarthy is now, where Mike McCarthy ain't going to deal with no meddling owner, no owner that's coming out trying to say the defensive coordinator is supposed to get the job. He ain't dealing with none of that. No more at Pitt. He will have autonomy at Pitt. But we got to measure. We got to measure Parker. And I'm going to measure it fair. I'm going to be like, bro, I'm telling you, Parker is, this is why we got to pay attention to the insiders and all that bullshit they be putting out there, because we got to know when to have their back. See, let me tell you something else. This is also why I don't like that Parker is vague. Some people like that. Some people I like that he said I don't have a particular type of player. Well, you opening it up for them to be able to throw anybody at you when you talk like that, sir. See, that's the rookie in you, sir. You talking like a rookie. See, the reason why we able to have Brian Schottenheimer back, why are we specifically able to have Brian Schottenheimer back? Because Brian Schottenheimer is always clear on the vision of what he wants down to the types. Down to the very types. I want physical. You ask Parker, just give me a player. Just give me a good player. They go, fuck you, man. Keep talking like that. You better learn your type real quick. Because if you out here vague, we don't know how to have your back, sir. You better learn something quick from Brian Schottenheimer. When you ask Brian Schottenheimer what type of offense he want, physical. I build my teams through the line of scrimmage first. So guess what? When he let out that cue, guess what we knew to do? He saying Booker. So other people, he's saying Matthew Golden. Nope, you didn't listen. He was specific. He said he build teams through the line of scrimmages. So guess what? We can say, go get him some shoes. Go get him the one tech. Yeah, we can say it.
Is it the shoes?
Yeah, Parker, you can't come in here with that old, just give me a player. Just give me, hey man, here. No, boy, you in Dallas. You are in Dallas, sir. If you want a corner 6'1", you better say it. If you want a safety with a certain type of high IQ, you better say it. Because we ain't going to know how to have your back, sir. We're not. We need to hear. Why we ain't heard from Parker? See, I need to hear from Parker, and I need Parker to be specific. You better tell us quick. You better tell us quick what you want. You better learn from Brian Schottenheimer quick. See, we knew how to get his back, and we got his back. We were like, shit, team trenches. Why? My head coach team trenches. Why do you think I'm still pushing for a certain type of running back too? Why? Because he was specific on the type that he likes. I like big backs.
I like big backs. You know, I really do. I think it's that type of league right now with how everything is, you know, played and physical. And
yeah. So this is why I can say with conviction and go against the crowd, Blue is not his type. Boss, come on, boss. Boss, come on. It's like, bro, all I'm doing is listening to my head coach, just like I did with Booker, dog. That's all I'm doing. Can you join me in having his back, please? But I'm going to keep score. You should keep score for the next 2 or 3 years. Because it's going to be a time to where Brian Schottenheimer and Parker time is going to expire like every coach. And we need to be able to say, see, y'all avoided Wells. What happened with those Wells? They went on to do some da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can y'all stop this cycle avoiding Wells? It's some lessons we got to learn from this DC thing. We can't be them type of fans that, woo, we hit a home run. Woo, we got Parker. Woo, it's nothing else to think about. We got a guy that's young and innovative. This is all I ever wanted. Hell nah. Nah, I'm going to measure him. Yeah, because see, it shows you that Jerry and them avoided men and real alphas. That's what really it says. He avoided men that look like they have a pedigree to push back. And then they got people out here trying to sell us on, if he would have picked Gannon, that would have been, yeah, Bus. You just spreading conspiracies. He would have liked Gannon. He would have, yeah. I don't believe that shit, man. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, bro. I ain't going for it. You can try to use that insider bullshit. I'm an insider and I say so. That work on gullible ass people. I pay too close attention to go for that. My boy Wee will say, somehow fans become cool with accepting less, as if the gap between the best and what we got was close. I'm pissed we didn't even call Moores and Flores. Exactly. That's why I'm doing this show. It's like, it's some lessons we got to learn from this. I sure ain't going out with them fans that's, man, I'm just so happy we got us somebody young. You know what else I'm happy about, bro? I'm happy that we actually this time we had a wide net. We usually only interview about 1 or 2 people, but this time we had some minorities in there. And they were all young. See, that shows me that Shuddy is changing the culture. It's like, bro, you didn't talk to no Wells, dog? Like none? You saw Ben Johnson and Vrabel and didn't talk to no Wells? Y'all might be right, but I'm going to keep score. You might be right. Y'all might be all the way right. But if you wrong, y'all don't think I'm going to bring it back up? I'm going to say, shit, they did it 2 years in a row. They avoided men that was coming in with leverage again. And they elected to go for more docile types that would have been happy for the job. We got us a super chat real quick. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I ain't gonna never be no fake ass dude over here faking and try to feed y'all some optimism. That's why I hate the off season, because every off season we got these content creators. They could be out there selling you all kind of bullshit, and some of y'all could be buying it. They gonna tell you with a straight face, that Sanborn is Luke Kuechly. Man, you boy. I immediately went to this motherfucker channel and said unsubscribe immediately. Like, bro, I ain't listening to none of this dude shit. It's like, nah, that pandering and shit. Nah. We not doing pandering content. Like where we pandering to help make y'all feel good. Over here talking about blue is Dorset. That's why the fans so drunk on them right now, because it was so many content creators. They've been pandering and they've been selling y'all opioid. And the fan base is high off opioid dope. They high. And they can't get off the crack of opioid. That's what's going on. So I'm not feeding that bad dope to the community. I ain't doing that. I ain't finna be over here like, man, this was an excellent by Shotty. I have, he did this all independent, even though by quote, Jerry came out through Mike Fisher and said, I threw cold water on Brian Flores. I supposed to believe because Bobby Bell said so. This was all Shotty. If they picked Gannon, that was Shotty. Man, fuck out of here. My boy said, boss, I said hell of a DB coach, but like you said, I'm on the fence about what players he wants and needs. Still on the fence about his play calling. And I'm not really worried about play calling, to be honest. I'm not even worried about play calling at all. When it comes to Parker, I don't put a lot of stock in that shit. Play calling, I don't care if it's cover 3, cover 4, 2-man, 0, what they doing match. I don't care about none of that shit. The most important thing, and I'm telling you as a former corner, that shit don't matter more than somebody who's a teacher. The fact that he's a teacher is the most important thing. So for instance, if you tell me how to play cover 2, but don't tell me how to play cover 2, you ain't helping me. If you the type of coach that can tell me that'll run the scheme to run cover 2 and can teach me how to play the best cover 2, the teacher is always way more important than the tactician, the schemer, every time. So it's the fact that he a teacher. I ain't worried about scheme. Like look at the Texans. I used them as a perfect, because I was pushing for they cornerback coach Dino, because my head coach said that he wanted a back end that got more turnovers. Nobody got more turnovers. Nobody than the Texans over the last 3 years. Nobody back end been playing together as dope as the Texans. They ain't doing nothing fancy schematically. Literally nothing. They are at the bottom with Denver when it comes down to disguise rate. They ain't disguising nothing. They ain't blitzing nothing. They lining up and they say, because we got better technique and our coach taught us how to play, we just finna whoop your ass straight up. We ain't finna try to scheme you. We ain't finna cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, match. We tricked you. It ain't none of that. The Texans line up and say, our coach got us ready to play. Let's go. We ain't finna even try to trick you. We ain't disguising nothing. We ain't showing no pre-snap looks. We ain't doing none of that. Let me show you the chart. Hopefully this don't crash my computer. But I'm gonna show you, listen, I'm big on evidence. I'm big on that. I'm sorry, y'all. I know that might get on your nerves, but I'm very big on showing you. Like a lot of people, they like to, I said so it's what it is. No, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the Texans, so you can see that Parker, in terms of, it's the real question is this: will we partner him with the right front end people? And in my opinion, are we smart enough to have some people in here to be insurance in case he fails? That's the key to me. Are we smart enough to have people in here as insurance? That's why I said that the Dallas Cowboys should get somebody in here that already was a DC, like a Orr or a Bullen, and throw a big bag at them to be insurance. Yeah, somebody that actually called plays before. But I'm showing you, look, the bottom left quadrant, as you can see, is the Texans. They're low in disguise rate and they're low in blitz rate, yet they whooping ass. Yeah, Angie, we tricked you. We tricked you. That's what people be wanting. And what's crazy is the people that's actually like that, the people that's actually like, we tricked you, that was Durante. Yeah, they schemed with Flores. They was truly I tricked you. You didn't know what we was doing. That's the genius behind them. But the Texans not like that, for real. So I want us to know right now where we are. And after this DC search, I'm going to tell you where we are. We avoided Wells. So we going to see how it play out. You avoided them last year. It bit you in the ass. You avoided Vrabel. You avoided Ben Johnson. It bit you in your ass. You did it again. Let's see if you're right. Because if we as a nation allow them to do it again, it's our fault. If they go out there and run the same play over and over again and we fall for it, it's our fault. So this is why I want the timestamp right now and say, what are the lessons from this DC search? The two biggest lessons is this. This is the two biggest lessons. Is that your media insiders are not always your friend. Sometimes they are literally weaponized. Literally. If Jerry and them out there giving them information that's trash, they gonna give us trash. If they out there saying, it's people on the inside that felt like Diggs was babied and it don't match the evidence, well, that trash in was the trash that the insiders put out, and they was a weapon. They was a propaganda weapon. And Jerry literally said, I use the media. He literally said, like, goddamn, he literally said it.
Yes, but really, I'm calling. I use you to call. And you say, how's that? I use media to express an interest.
So if a man tell you, I use the media, shouldn't we be paying attention to who could potentially be being used? How do you know if they're being used? When they're saying don't line up to what really happened? Like when you hear Bobby Better saying that Mike McCarthy felt threatened by Dan Quinn, and then I go look at the real story recounting, and that shit just ain't even lining up at all to what really happened, that Jerry and them was out there that made all this tension. It was Jerry and them that made the tension, but who got the blame? So I don't care that he's an insider. Whoever leaked that to him basically used him as a weapon. I don't care that if it came from Brad Sham. I don't care. I like Brad Sham. I think he's one of the most integral, honest, smart, dope football minds in Cowboy space. But the fact that they told him, hey, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that Diggs was soft. I'm hearing Diggs babied them, and then I go check the receipts and I see the opposite.
Really, really good day for Trayvon Diggs.
Realistically, every ball could be a pick.
Man, we said that last year. Dog, seriously. If your eyes...
This is the lesson. I don't give a damn that Bobby was over here like, I'm the insider. I say so because I say so. I'm telling you as the insider that if they pick Gannon, that was a shoddy guy. I'm over here like, you got me fucked up. No. I meant Al Harris, thank you. No. I watched my head coach way too consistent and being very, very, very specific in his visions. So when he say he want a communicator, he ain't talking about pum guy. He ain't talking about no weird shit. When he say I want a guy who can lead a room, he ain't talking about.
What's up? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Good.
Pum.
Good. Shoo, 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 shoo. Shots, explosives.
I'm the insider. I say so. Your shit don't match. If it matched Shotty, I would say yeah. Well, you know, he making sense. That does fit Shotty. Shotty ain't never been inconsistent. I showed you clip after clip. Shotty doing exactly what he said he was gonna do, and it worked. I like big backs. You liked Williams, didn't you? Didn't you like him? He said these games are won in the trenches. We liked Booker, didn't we? We liked Quentin Williams, didn't we? Oh yeah, we liked him, didn't we? That man know exactly what he wants. When he say I want multiple, yeah, he know what he looking for. I supposed to be just Bobby said it, go with it. Wait, he came in, boss. He disputed what you said. Shit, no fuck he didn't. No, he didn't. So yeah, the media can be weaponized. You better know that now, so you'll be smarter going forward. The second thing and the last thing is we avoided Wells. Those are the two big lessons from this DC thing. Keep that because we gonna need that going forward. Likely, I'm gonna come back to this show. Because the main people who need us to have this understanding right now is Brian Schottenheimer and Christian Parker. We can't be suckerish to act like Jerry and them go keep they meddling hands off of them. We need to keep up with everything they say they want. So I need you, Parker, to be specific now, sir. See, you was able to say what you said in a safe place. I don't have a really type. I don't have a type. Nah, you need to think about that, sir. You in Dallas now. We ain't gonna know how to fight for you if you over here with some vague ass, I don't have a type of player. You over the whole DC. See, we was able to have Dan Quinn back because we knew he liked long players. You better, in some kind of way, say what you prefer, sir. If you don't say what we would never know how to have your back like we have Shotty's back. It's your boy Boss Show Me, man. Bringing you another one. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe to this content. I know that it was a very long show. I know some of y'all might be even mad because I went in there and I told the truth. Y'all want to hear optimism right now. I want to talk about things that can hurt us that we got to be aware of. I'm wired different. Listen, I like hope. I like optimism. I like being prepared more than that. Somebody came to me and they listened to one of my videos where I said we need insurance for Parker. And they said, you know, he made an analogy. He said, well, when they built the ark, they didn't have a little boat for insurance. So we need to have some faith in Parker. And I said, I'm glad you're a man in the scriptures. I am too. So as a man in the scriptures, if you're talking about faith, it says that without works, it's dead, sir. So the best thing to do is put some actual thought behind not just hope. Because see, some of y'all think faith is hope. Faith is not hope. Faith is action. What's the action? What's the smart things we doing to protect Parker? To protect Brian? That's real faith. Not sitting back just hoping he go work out. I just hope we picked him. I hope he the right guy. Hope it work out. Now you better not tune out. You better not turn your brain off. Turn your brain off if you want to. You can throw scriptures at somebody else. You can't throw scriptures at me because I also know the scriptures. And we need to put some work. That's what real faith is. He said the scriptures say faith without works is dead. So the word faith in terms of hope alone means nothing if you're not putting in a tangible, smart, working plan. That ain't gonna work on me, sir. So let's keep our eyes open, y'all. And also, if y'all like content like this, man, if y'all want to throw something in your boy pocket, throw it at the Cash App. I greatly appreciate it. Especially right now. It'd be greatly appreciated. The Cash App is Boss Cowboy Sports. I appreciate all the support always from Cowboy Nation. Until the next live, until the next video. Peace. I'm the insider. I say so. Not over here, dog. I work on them